What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Project Adizz. For our first event, we are going to be seeing some exploration along the borderlands of this little area, but them realizing it's mainly desert, they go up towards the mountains and they're like, alright, let's go over here. What's over here? Oh, we're at Adizz Press. There's better land over here. That's pretty good. What could we do over here? Well, they're going to cross through mountains occasionally, and a few exploration groups are just going to be like, alright, this is a pretty nice area. There's a lot of rivers here, an easy area to live. Well, we're too far off from earlier, so let's not come back. And with them not coming back, all of this is going to be completely uncharted, and they're going to be living on the lips of Adis Press. So let's go ahead and make a country. This little yellow nation is going to be like, alright, we're our own country, so we're differentiating ourselves from the other religions, the red religion that we came from, because they're like, alright, we're over here, this is a whole new world, whole new thing. Our other religion didn't tell us about this, so let's form a new religion off of what we have found. So they're going to go ahead and do that, saying this is their holy land, and let's go ahead and give these people a capital. This will be the capital city of this new yellow nation, and they're going to be like, we hate the others, we are on our own, and we're going to stay on our own. So after a few years, they populate very densely populated around this left side. So they're going to be like, alright, if we can densely populate around this left side, we should expand into here like so. And that's what they do. They expand into this river and they expand over here, so they're going to set a claim over here, and they're going to be a primarily western side dominated nation, and their eastern side, like over here, is going to be forgotten about due to just over here being more populated, and it's where most people came from, or went to, I guess. But with other nations, they're going to be like, why didn't this work? Must be something very dangerous. So let's start small exploration, and let's just learn about over here. No nations are going to be formed over here this time, and the pink team's just going to take some borderlands with this little pink strip of land they have on the main continent. With the pink team annexing this, the blue team's going to be like, well, we want some land, so they're going to divide up the land with this country right here and divide up the rest of the little Saharan lands. Unlike the people of the pink team, the people of the blue team do not like this expansion and they're completely against it. But if we look at this map, they just annexed the better lands of this. But the blue team's going to be like, alright, we're getting greedy, so let's go over here and see what we can get. So they're going to be very greedy and take all that land, while this upper blue team takes all this land up here. And the blue team's going to be like, alright, well, we just did this. We like this land. We're profiting off of it. And they're going to be like, hey, we're exploiting these people. And a lot of people are going to be moving in to this area, and they're going to be like, what? The blue team, we're not a part of the blue team. They're exploiting us. They're using us for our wealth, the land that we have here. They're just using us for it. And they're going to be like, alright, I hate that idea. Let's see what we can do about it. So what we see happening is just a small little amount of the blue team saying, hey, we don't want to be a part of you. And the blue team can't say anything against this because they don't have many troops stationed in this area. But it's going to be majority of this area just being like, hey, we're independent, deal with it, you can't get over here fast enough, and we could easily destroy your supplies. And with this happening, they're going to be like, hey, hey, pink team, you hate the blue team? We do too. And they're going to be forming sort of an alliance-ish, just between the two of them. And I'm not going to make this alliance on a map, but just know these nations do like each other a lot. And this country's capital is going to be posted in this little fortress slash major city over here. It is a fortress for now because they are currently against the blue team, and the blue team could try a future invasion, so they are very militaristic. Oh, here we see some basic exploration of Adizz Pro's hair. Now, these nations really do like sniffing Adizz Pro's hair, and they do love the smell of Adizz Pro's hair. Um, do I blame them? No, I've never smelled Adizz Pro's hair. Yeah. I'll have to smell Adizz Pro's hair to blame them. No homo. Uh, yeah. But here they do find some very, unchartable areas. So those unchartable areas will be shown here, and they are very intensely cold, like Arctic level cold. Now, these people do love the smell of Atis Pro's hair, so they're just going to keep on expanding over into Atis Pro's hair like so. We also see this blue team over here be like, alright, let's go over here, let's try to explore this big ol' sea called Atis Pro's forehead. Now, this massive forehead gorehead is giant. We love Atis Pro's forehead. Adizz Pro, do a forehead reveal, please. But they do expand onto these islands like so. And looking at the biome map, it's mainly desert around the biomes, representing the sand, and then this gold biome for like a savanna type biome. So we do know that these people do love the green biomes. Green biomes equals good. Love green biomes. And then with these mountain ranges down here, they're going to be like, hey, can we cross through these? And they're going to cross through these a little bit, and they're going to generally chart out a little bit of this area over here, like so. Not charting out everything. But they're going to reach out with this team right over here. They're going to be like, hey, let's be allies. We hate the blue team. You do too. They're going to be really close because they both hate the blue team. They're going to explore the archipelago and establish cities on the the archipelago of Forehead Gorehead, and they're going to realize that they could easily become a large naval power and just trade with a lot of other nations using these islands from the Forehead Gorehead Islands to trade with these other nations and get resources that they can't get, starting a monopoly of all these little islands and lands that they can get from exploring these small islands here and there and just monopolizing them. Now they're going to get majority of these islands discovered, and they're also going to start exploring some of this river up here and slowly get resources from it, but they're not going to establish settlement. Here we see just some expansion from the thumb down. Here we see the Lime team expanding like crazy because of how much population is moving from the top of the thumb down into their country, and then the purple team, of course, just expands a little bit along this river like so. And I do want to name some geography in this series, so if you want to name anything, please comment below on this episode, and I will like make a little layer with names for every single landmark, different mountain ranges, and all that mess. And make sure it correlates with what's going on, like the Forehead Gorehead Islands right over here on Adizz Pro's forehead, of course. Do stuff like that. I think it would be a really cool opportunity to integrate the way of thinking with community Wixo and having the community involved with geography. That'll be it for this episode, and just comment in the comments where you want to be named and all that, and I will do my best to make sure every comment has like a related name to the geography, and there will be a layer. It will be called the geography layer, naming all these places, and I hope to see some comments on here for the geography layer and what to add to it. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and can't wait for the next episode.